Happy New Year, Gold Eagle Warriors. You're doing great out here. I wish you and your families a happy and prosperous New Year.
95,000 tons. 4.5 acres of sovereign U.S. territory.
This ship is the tip of the spear.
Over 4,000 different stories.
We are Carl Vinson. We are Carl Vinson.
We are Carl Vinson.
We are Carl Vinson.
What's up, Carl Vinson? I'm Petty Officer Zachary Bell, and welcome to a fresh, new episode of the 70. 2012 is here, and Vinson put on a Hangar Bay Bash for the second year in a row. It seems like a tradition has been born aboard CVN 70. Another one dates back a lot further than last year, though, and is observed by every ship out to sea. Petty Officer Kevin Harbach introduces us to two sailors who rang in the new year and were selected to do so based on the years they were born.
While USS Carl Vinson prepares to enter the Fifth Fleet Area of Responsibility, we took the time to honor a New Year's tradition that has been passed along throughout naval history.
I guess I'm expected to ring bells after midnight, like the oldest person on the ship will ring the bells before midnight.
And the baby, the other sailor is going to ring another 8 bells. That so concludes the ceremony. Meaning to say it's half and half. The old ring it first, and giving it to the younger guy.
This ringing of the bells tradition is normally carried on in this exact fashion. The oldest and youngest sailors ringing in the new year, symbolizing the old sailors' time in service, or their Navy, is coming to a close, all while showing that this future of the Navy is in the youngest sailors' hands.
Just like I said, I'm just really young, so I don't really know what the old Navy is like, so I guess this is really the only Navy I know. It's just where I'm at.
The future for Seaman Hunt and all of the new sailors aboard is up to them. And although they may not know what the old Navy was all about, it's up to sailors like Chief Warrant Officer Lagrasola to pass on knowledge and guidance.
You know, I hope they're matured. You know what? At 18, you know, I have a lot of people in a mess decks. They're all young. I'm very proud of them because they listen to me. They listen to my advice. I think sometimes they're afraid. I don't know if they're afraid though, but I think they listen to me.
With another year, the Navy that Chief Warrant Officer Lagrasola has seen in shape passes. But he will continue to mentor and give advice to junior sailors.
Stay who you are, okay? Follow the rules and regulation of the Navy and the command, okay? Study hard, and study hard. That's where the reason why I'm here right now, because I study hard.
All while new seamen like Hunt are getting a fresh start to see and shape their own future.
I don't know, it feels kind of cool. I mean, just kind of an honor just to be able to do this kind of thing, is represent all these people and what's going on. Especially since I'm just like so new to it too. It's just new to me and new to everyone.
Reporting for the 70, I'm Petty Officer Kevin Harbach.
His boots are shinier than his head, but just barely. That being said, if he had hair, he would keep it high and tight. He requires very little sleep, but when he does, his rack makes itself, purely out of respect. When he pats you on the back, you feel the need to put it on your brag sheet. He is the most squared away sailor on the ship.
I do not always deploy, but when I do, I prefer Carl Vinson. Stay salty, my friends.
The last time I got 40,000 or something, it was likes on the Carl Vinson's Facebook page. That all changed last week, where package after package made its way right here in Hangar Bay 3 and into your hands. Christmas came late, but Seaman Matthew Herron shows us why it was well worth the wait.
Not many of us were able to enjoy the luxury of opening presents on Christmas morning, but considering the responsibilities we have in the 5th Fleet AOR, we can take comfort in knowing it's better late than never.
Unfortunately, we couldn't get them here by Christmas, but we did get them all the way to Hong Kong, so looking forward to hopefully making a lot of people happy.
I'm waiting to see what it is. It's going to be good, I'm sure. Can't wait.
You may be wondering, what took so long for the mail to get here? The fact is that a route a package takes is a little more complicated than slapping on a 35-cent stamp and putting it in your mailbox.
The reason we couldn't is just the amount of mail that was traveling through where the USPS and between the USPS and the military postal service, there's cutoff dates where we can't we might have missed it by a couple of days before Christmas to get it loaded out onto a RAS ship, and from there, if it doesn't make it, well, we got to make it until the next available time. So.
It wasn't that the mail was lost. Our friends on the other side of the globe were good enough to keep an eye on it for us.
Well, this mail call here is what we had waiting for us to get to us in Hong Kong, and in Hong Kong it's roughly about 40,000 pounds right now that we can tell.
Now don't go expecting 20 tons of mail each replenishment at sea, because this is far from the norm during a deployment.
Compared to the average mail call, yeah, this is probably about 10 times as much as we usually get. We usually end up, an average mail call, we'll get about 2,000 to 3,000 pounds each time.
It's no easy task to sort and distribute mass quantities of mail like this, but to a ship like ours, it was like clockwork.
We got a lot of people from different departments pitching in to help out sort the mail and try to get the mail out to everybody as soon as possible.
Reporting for the 70.
I think it's going to make a lot of sailors' days today.
Yeah.
I'm Seaman Matthew Herron.
Our primary goal in the 70 is to introduce you to a few new ideas each episode. Maybe something you didn't know about the ship, or a few of your shipmates. One way we like to do that is through a sailor's own words, and imagery shot by the fleet's best mass communication specialists. In this week's 1-minute exposure, Petty Officers Timmy Hazel and James Evans introduce us to one logistics specialist who has an extra special collateral duty, saving lives.
It's a total adrenaline rush. From the moment you hear those 6 whistle blasts, you're like, there's somebody in the water that needs to be saved. And so, you're trying to hurry up while staying calm at the same time. So everything's just fast-paced and moving, and you're just trying to stay calm while also putting all your gear on and getting to the boat, getting dropped into the water, and thinking about the scenarios that's going to be out there in the water. The intensity is very serious because there's a possibility that something can go wrong. And so, everyone needs to just be on cue for when their part of the jobs are called out to do. Almost exactly at the moment that he tells them to move the forward stay lines or the aft stay lines, they have to be ready to move all of that stuff, on cue. It's high intensity, and, everybody's just waiting to do their job when called upon. It's just something out of the ordinary. It's not something that you have to do, but it's something that you put yourself out there to do to show that you can actually do something and just stand out there a little bit from everybody else.
Carriers have been described as cities at sea for decades. Visiting media like to point out the fact that we have everything from a judge to a barbershop to a highly mobile functioning airport. That's all good and all necessary, but we close tonight's 70 with a look at how one sailor found out, just like every other city, that our most important citizens might be the ones we need the most when we least expect it.
This is Hull Technician, 3rd Class, Amanda Sumac. And this is Lieutenant Commander Matt Tadlock. These two sailors, from opposite sides of the ship, crossed paths a few weeks ago on the operating table.
A laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Basically, we're going to use a long camera and these long instruments to take out a gallbladder. She has cholecystitis. It's a common procedure we do, bread and butter, but we take it very seriously.
I just want to get better. Taking my gallbladder out, of course, it's a risky procedure, all surgery is, but that'll prevent further problems for me in the future and let me finish out this deployment without having to be down here every day.
In some cases, surgery out to sea may be the only option, and any type of surgical procedure can draw concerns. But Mathis has plenty of faith in the most important person in her life at the moment, the one controlling the scalpel.
Head up. Head up, right?
No, I'm not nervous. Lieutenant Commander Tadlock is a good doctor. I've had him for a previous surgery, so I trust his judgment, and I know he'll get me through the surgery without any complications.
So the operation began without a hitch. Every puncture precise, all incisions accurate, and each staple secured.
Surgery went very well, and it was uncomplicated, nothing unplanned, and my whole team did a real great job, helped me out. 3 cc's of blood in Ireland. I've seen her a couple times in clinic and follow-up, and she's doing well, and I'm real happy about that.
After every tube was removed, every stitch in place, and the removal of her gallbladder a success, HT3 was a grateful sailor.
To the people who did my surgery, I want to say thank you for knowing your job well enough to be able to keep me on board, so that way I don't have to be somewhere during the holidays where I don't know anybody.
A successful surgery out at sea, and one healthy whole technician.
Well, that's it for this edition of the 70. I hope everybody's New Year's resolutions are still intact. I'm Petty Officer Zachary Bell.